Hello. How is everybody today?
I am having a great day today.
Good.
I am so excited to be back. I actually got just like a hair nervous before we came live, and I haven't had that feeling in a very long time.
I'm sorry.
It's just been like 4 weeks. I'm like, I'm gonna be so out of practice with this. So
Oh, you're
anyway,
the queen. You're the master of this, and you have the
oh,
star tiara.
yes, indeed. This is. I can't wear a hat with my headphones, so I thought I would give at least some headwear to the hatters. So
Oh,
I
my queen.
Oh,
Yes.
jeez, you make me blush, Casey. I love your hat. This is how I met you, as in this beholder hat at
Yep.
Genghis Khan way
Can't
back in the day. Yeah.
can't deal without it, right? So
Yes.
today, Gen Con. Gen Con.
Yes.
Gen
This
Con.
is
There we go.
an episode where we're going to talk a lot about Gen Con. We're going to talk, even if you're not going to Gen Con, we're going to talk about how we can do Gen Con online. Also, we have some great game masters who are going to give tips for running games at conventions. And so, even if you're not coming to Gen Con, there's going to be something for everyone here. So,
Yes, of course.
and I hope everyone in the chat is having a great day. Thank you for all the Goo Mornings. Those always put a smile on my face. So,
Excited to see you all. Thank you all for joining today. And
yeah.
we'll be as charismatic as we can be.
Yes, Alphinius, obviously, I know he's like a wizard, and then he says he likes to play a rogue, but he has the charisma of a bard. We all know this.
Yes, he
So,
does.
but
Yes, he
yes.
does.
So, Casey, why don't we start with some like Gen Con announcements? We were like 6 weeks out from Gen Con, and I know we have some like cool stuff coming down the pipeline for people who are attending. So, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, so Gen Con is going to be bigger and better this year. As always, we seem to just keep going with that. By popular demand, we've instituted some new things that we're real excited about, and they turned out to be extremely well sought after. First great announcement with that is we're going to do this year what are called tracks. Premium tracks, where we're actually offering a full module of Menace in the Mist. Spread across 3 days, 3 4-hour sessions with the same GM and the same group of people. Part of that, individuals are going to be able to play in this beautiful location. Gen Con has given us the opportunity to use these luxury suite locations in the stadium. So imagine playing a immersive, amazing game with the same GM in your own private, quiet space with the same group of 5 other players and enjoying all of the benefits that go along with that. So excited to be able to announce that. I think you guys are going to have a great time, those who signed up for it. And it sure is going to kind of bust out as this is the thing that people want to do. To give you an idea of some comparable events that happen in these locations, if you may have heard of U2 Can Cthulhu, which are hugely popular. Like those are the type of things that if you don't get a wish list queue of like 500 or less, you probably won't get. So, the fact that we're getting this location and being able to use this is great. Now, keep in mind, it's in the stadium. And so it's a distance from where our game room is going to be. So if you're going to be playing in these games or you've heard about this kind of thing, know that you just have to kind of make sure that you have time to be able to get there. But honestly, you get there the first day, it's going to be in the exact same room and location all 3 days in the games that our players play. So we'll go through that. All right. So Mandi now has a map that shows where we're going to be. So Gooey headquarters for Gooey Game headquarters, I should say, for Gen Con this year is in the Indianapolis Convention Center, better known as ICC 232. So 2 rooms down from where we were last year. We were in 234 last year. We're in 222. So right in what I call, excuse me, Gen Con, downtown Gen Con, RPG Central. This is where a lot of the RPGs are going on, and we're right there in that. The cool thing about it is we're upstairs on that balcony, so there's not a sea of 60,000 or whatever people trying to get into the vendor hall, blocking your way into the room, but there's still tons and tons of traffic and people, and the location is beautiful. We'll have that big banner out front as usual, all the exciting things going on, and then just the excitement of the game room. So if you're looking for where we're going to be, that is it. If you're looking for where the party is going to be, that's it. And we'll talk about the party here in a little bit.
Yeah. So one of the big benefits to the track events, and I'd love to see those explode like that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. But in the game room, we have like what 6, 7, 8 games going on at the same time. So
Yeah, there's
noise.
actually 10. There's 10 tables, so we
Yeah.
can have up to about 100 people in that room all at
Yeah.
once. Yep.
So, and this is a problem with every game room at a convention. This is not
Mhm.
something that's just a Gooey Cube thing, is that noise from all the game tables, it can get very loud in those rooms. So to be able to do the premium tracks in the suites is going to provide just such a wonderful immersive experience, like you
Yeah.
said. So
Yeah.
that's very exciting. And hopefully we can continue to add more and more of these. So that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we will. As popular as they were, as far as being sought after, looking at wish list data and stuff like that, I think there's no question that people want to play these tracks, and we'll provide that for them. They get some special little extra benefits of which, well, sign up for them and see what you get. But it's pretty cool what's going to happen there. So yeah, they're sold out. I would find it unlikely that there's quite a bit of people on the wait list as well, and the system will kind of slot them in as needed. But be ready when we start doing this again in the future, because we're going to continue with this model, because I think it's going to work very well for us. So.
Okay. Here I am showing a Facebook post. I've also posted this in Discord. This is the schedule of where we're going to be as Gooey Cube during the convention.
Mhm.
So we don't have that many like side events going on. We do tend to have more at Genghis Khan, since it's a more intimate place, and we can be out of the booth a bit more. But you'll be able to find us pretty much in the booth during the vendor hours. Oh, like pretty much any day. Alphinius will be there for most of the time, unless we're running the game show. And so our booth number is 2338. Our booth is going to be very cool. Even if you've purchased a lot of stuff we have, you're definitely going to want to drop by. We're going to have an incredible giveaway for game masters. So definitely come stop by.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, you'll
yeah.
want that.
Yes.
Stop by the booth. You'll
Yes.
want that.
For sure. And plus, we're going to have things like the sequel to Shadows and Genzicon.
Mhm.
That's going to be, we're going to do the same thing that we did last year, where we gave that away, I think, with purchases. I think we're going to be giving away some dice with purchases. And so we have like a lot of really fun stuff happening at the booth. We obviously have games happening at all hours, not all hours, but through all the waking hours of the day. We have the Gooey Cube dessert mixer, which is always fun. And this year, I am bringing lyrics to Myron the Ugly Troll, so that way we can just sing it in
Put
one
it up
joyous chorus.
karaoke on the monitor. Is that how we're going to do
Yeah,
that? Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting them printed out for everyone, so that way that'll be great. And like I'm just getting cake, and I'm trying to get the popcorn people back, and the open bar and everything like that. I'm still working with them on all that. But in this Facebook page, there's a place to RSVP for that. So please do, so I can get a head count. And then Friday at 9 a.m., we have the Great Gooey Dungeon game show. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to play highlights, from our last year's episode. It's so much fun. There's no crowd like Gen Con for this thing.
I
Like,
can't talk about that's one of my highlights. I can't talk about the game show at Gen Con without kind of getting emotionally teary about it, because it has been a dream of mine for so long.
literally,
Um, and to
I
see a room full of 200 whatever plus people just having the blast. I mean, I literally, to burn the emotional energy off, I was literally running around the room in circles, cheering people on to get them cheered up and excited, because I had to just explode. It was too much fun. And I this year, I mean, within the first day, we had like 200 plus tickets sold. It's almost sold out. So if you're going, grab a ticket, but we'll cram people in. I mean, I'll stand at the door and drag people out of the hallway like I did last year to come play
yeah,
this, because it's a lot of fun.
it is
We're going to
just a
bust out
blast.
of that room and get a bigger room.
Patrick is distracting me by messaging my Facebook page
I see that.
live while it's
I
on
see that.
screen. I'm doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
He is I mean, there's a lot of people competing for the shenanigan thing, but man, Patrick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my familiar decided to show up. So,
No, it's
right.
perfect. You have to, the laws of cat, you have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, hopefully it won't show you cat butt. So,
Yeah. And then lastly, we have Gooey University, which is basically just like a panel. Alphinius will just be giving, um, uh, I don't know, like a talk. We call them fireside chats.
Fireside chat, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so he'll basically just be talking about what we do at Gooey Cube to make your life easier as a GM. It's a great place to connect with Alphinius, and yeah, it's a really fun time. So that's Friday. No, that's Saturday at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that's what we got going on. I do want to bring Pam on, who's going to talk to us about some of our online offerings for Gooey, or for Gen Con. Gooey
Yes,
Gen Con.
Pam.
Hi, Pam.
Good morning.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome. Gen Con Online. So, yeah, what was it? About a month and a half ago, Casey goes, "Hey, can you take care of this for me?" All right. So Gen Con Online, Gen Con reached out and said, "Aren't you running online games?" And yeah, I guess we are. So we've got, actually, we have a return. Christy's returning as one of our online GMs. And then we've got some of our new folks who've come in and volunteered. So there are 6 GMs running, including me. And we are running, let's see, a couple of sessions of Carnival Crushers, a track of Shadows and Gensicon, Menace in the Mist, Riches Wrath, and a Peculiar Brews. And that's over. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, is the same? So the track for Shadows and Gensicon, is it going to be the same GM who's running that the entire time?
Yeah, Christy's running it the whole time. And that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's the same with Menace in the Mist and Witch's Wrath. They're going to be the same GM, mostly at the same time. There's one that's kind of off because, you know, those of us who are not going to be there in person have day jobs we've got to attend to. The official calendar will be posted on the 30th for Gen Con's site, and then registration opens on July 9th. The fees are minimal. It's just for the Gen Con fee, which I think is like $2 per session, something around there. But yeah, we're pretty excited about being able to run all these games for online.
I'm excited too, because a lot of people obviously aren't able to make it to Gen Con. It's a big trek. It's a bucket list item for a lot of people. I'm excited. Geeky Hoodie, I know this has been like a big bucket list item for him for a long time, and he's able to come out this year. But this is a great way to get like a little dose of Gen Con, get immersed in games. And it's not just Gooey Cube games. There's other games that you could obviously run. And I know that the GMs who are running the Gooey games, at least, are phenomenal. We've gotten like amazing reviews for a number of them for online events like this before. So that's really exciting. And so I know that it kind of opens, what were we talking about? Like the schedule opens up on, was it July 7th?
They're June 30th is when they're publishing the calendar.
Okay, so we got like
games, so you get time to get in there and look before you have to choose.
Yeah, just
registration
like in person,
opens on July 9th.
Yeah, they'll have a wish list thing set up where on the 30th you can start building your wish list.
Right.
Awesome.
And so we have, so there's a couple of sessions Thursday evening, and then the rest of it, Friday evening, Saturday through day, and Sunday morning and afternoon. We did not schedule anything opposite the game show.
Yes, and I was gonna talk about that. It's another online offering that we have. Thank you for not doing that. So yes, we will be running the game show. It'll be the same way that we ran it for GaryCon, where it's running off of Gen Con's Twitch channel, and all the interactions and all the prize winnings happens in the Discord. And the grand prize winner gets a $200 gift card to gooeycube.com to go spend on whatever they want. So it is, and then we give away like 9 or 10 other like really nice prizes as well. So it's definitely worth your time. It's so much fun. Well, I think it's fun. I've never actually been able to just participate in it because I'm always running it. So I assume it's very fun. I hope it's very fun. I hope people enjoy the Discord interactions, and yeah. Oh yeah, Contori's in the Discord, and she won one of our huge gift cards last time at GaryCon. So
hey, at least you don't have to do all the tech this time.
Yeah, no, so I will tell you a funny anecdote from last year. So like Casey tried to tell us that they were running the game show last year. This is before I was like more involved. I'm now now just handling it kind of thing. But Alphinius
He
is
is
like,
the queen now.
yeah.
Very
So
much.
yeah, so when we originally talked about it, but Alphinius was still somehow under the impression that we were also going to be running a stream. So Adam and I drove out there with all of the streaming video equipment that we had, and I'm like, oh man. So anyway,
So you just locked it up really good.
yeah, so it was we tried also, well, Adam tried like restreaming it to our Twitch channel because we'd already promoted it that way. Like, we didn't know anyway, but let me just say, like, the team at Gen Con, they're professionals. I love working with them. I'm excited to work with them again, and they put on a really good show. So and like I said, at the end of this episode, we'll be playing a highlights reel from last year's Gen Con. So
Sounds like a
so
lot
yeah,
of fun.
yeah, so please do come join us in the Discord. Also, I am going to need some like team captains. I just realized this while we're on the stream. I need to get some team captains to help with the Discord. So should anyone be joining us at 9 a.m., is it 9 a.m. Eastern time?
Time.
So that's going
Eastern
to be
time.
rough for like Pacific time. Yeah.
That's like 6 a.m.
6
for me.
a.m.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's going to be early. But yes.
That's usually when I start work, though.
Yeah.
Again, day job.
Yes. So anyway, so yes, please just let me know if you're able to just all it is just making sure the Discord's running smoothly. So
I will say for all of our friends that are in Europe, that's actually going to be a good time for you, probably, right? Because it'll be Friday evening.
Yeah.
So the opportunity for them to be able to enjoy it is gonna be great.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a good point. So maybe I'll get James. When we were over in UK, we got to spend a lot of times with James Karras, who I've talked to, but since we're on different schedules, and his wife Amy, they were like lovely people. So anyway, is there anything else that you want to tell us about online Gen Con, Pam?
No, not really. That's about everything. I mean, the finer details for tech stuff, whether it's Zoom or Discord or stuff, we're still kind of working out, but we're all excited for this to happen, and I hope we get lots of folks signing up. We usually do have fairly robust game schedules. We do always have backup plans, though, because there was one year where 2 tables running at the same time were kind of low, so we just combined them, and I got to co-GM with Nama Stacy.
Oh, wow. That would have been a treat. So
we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I wish I was at that table. It's fine. She lives out here now, so we'll just ship you out here, Pam, and you can run a game just for me.
Well, actually, we kind of do. Matt and I still have to get that squared away for you, anyways, because we still have to do our charity stream, Mandy.
Oh, I do. I know, for the Misfits. I know. I won that, but no stress on that. I did win that like a couple years ago. So
we're still trying to get Darkenhaven and Gloomfort out the door.
So don't worry. I totally understand, 100%. This is Casey's wife Tanya won a special edition West for Destia back in 2021 that we're still working on getting out the door. So that is totally fine. Harry asked, can Pam describe more how online registration works?
Oh, sure. So Gen Con Online, you do have to have a badge. Badges are free. So you just go in and register and, check out with $0 in your cart. And then you would sign up for a game just kind of like you would for in-person Gen Con. It's just a different tab, and the fees are minimal, and it's just Gen Con's fee for, supporting and contributing to their breaking even. I'm pretty sure it's only about $2 a session.
Yeah, $2 or $4, something like that. I can't remember, but your badge is free. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that minimal fee is so people are putting money down so they'll show up.
Yeah. So also when you're on the Gen Con website, there's tabs at the top for Gen Con Indie, Gen Con Online, and Gen Con Pop-Up Gen Con, I think. And make sure that if you're doing Gen Con Online, that you're in the online tab, because the sites look somewhat identical. And you just got to make sure that you're in the right location to sign up for the right thing, or you're going to be paying money for something you're not going to be able to do. Are the GMs rewarded in any way by Gen Con? The online GMs, Harry, or the in-person GMs?
Yeah, I'm sure if nothing else, we'll do something very special for our online ones. We do try to
take care of our GMs is really the best answer to that question.
Yeah.
We take care of them well.
I couldn't speak to whether Gen Con does anything. Is there
He is asking
for
specifically for online ones.
yeah, so for online, Casey, I'm
Gen
not
Con,
aware of
Gen Con
it.
doesn't do anything for them, but you can sign up for a badge. It's free. But Gooey Cube will take care of you. Okay.
So Geeky has posted a comment. Oh wait, that was the wrong one. Oh, sorry. That was, I think, some shenanigans from Patrick. But Geeky asked, can we bring stuff to the party as well to share foods, drinks, etc.? No, but if I don't know about it, then you know,
If
The
you
official
sneak it in your
policy,
Slack,
the official policy of Gen Con,
yeah.
the official policy of Gen Con is there's no outside food or drink other than if you're buying stuff.
Yeah. So I'm ordering catering through the party, for the party through the hotel. But you know, like, and that is my official stance on it. So I don't know if I can pull off that thing. So yeah, but no, anyway. Okay. Thank you so much, Pam, for joining us. And we
absolutely.
appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. Pam, do you want to give a little plug for our misfits?
Our misfits. So, for those of us who may not know, Tabletop Misfits, we stream Sunday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific. They'll always say 9 p.m. Eastern, but I'm in Pacific. We have done a little bit of Lord of the Rings. We're doing some random stuff, party games lately, because we are getting ready to start a Dark Star, a Red Star Rising campaign long term. So, there's just a lot going on with that. That won't start until after Gen Con, I can guarantee it.
That's awesome. That sounds good, though. That's Dark
Yeah.
Star. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Pam. And I know I will be talking to you shortly about a whole myriad of things. So
I'm sure we will.
okay.
All right.
Appreciate you
Have a
so
good
much,
rest of your
Pam.
Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Pam.
you. Yep.
Okay, next up, we're going to bring some of our Gooey GMs on. Now,
right.
we're having some lagging things with Charles, so we're going to see how the stream does. But just
Charles
bear
lives
with
up
us.
in the mountains of
Yeah,
Colorado.
with
So
yes,
you take the good with the bad,
yes.
and if you want to choose to live in a most beautiful location. So
Yes. So, but just bear with us while we figure out Wi-Fi stuff for just like a minute or two. So, here is Kari. Hi, Kari.
hi, Kari. Nice
Hello.
background.
Charles,
Great.
how's
There's
your internet
Charles.
holding up?
We got Greg.
It's
Hello.
yeah. Charles's internet, I think, is. Charles, can you try talking for us?
Hello.
Okay. Well, I think we can
Oh
hear
yeah,
Charles.
how am I coming across?
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag, but we're gonna just work with it, and it'll be great. So, okay. Hi. Thank you all so much for everything you do for us, because you are the reason that a lot of people have come to find Gooey Cube because they've loved your games so much at conventions. So yeah, we want to have to do a little bit about that.
Yeah. These are some great GMs. We have so many really, really good GMs, and you know, with no exception, Kari and Gragnik and Charles have been just some of the ones that our players have said, you know, please, can I have that GM again? And we have ways to be able to handle those kind of things now. So we're working through that, which is great. But I'm excited to see your guys' faces as well. And we just wanted to ask you guys a few questions about what your experience is like, and some tips that may be helpful for others. So I'll ask the first question here. Why, Kari, why do you enjoy GMing at conventions? Because I know you do a lot of them.
I do a fair number. I honestly, I have a blast getting to know new players, new people, and it's a chance to really get to play with a lot of people that I don't get to play with on a normal basis. Here locally, of course, we end up seeing a lot of the same people, but it's a different mix every time, different personalities, different play styles. So it makes every game unique.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, Charles, I know there's a little bit of lag, and I'm going to treat this kind of like a live TV interview via satellite in another country.
Right.
So I'll just poke it back out to you and just say, you know, go ahead and answer that question too. Why do you enjoy doing this? Because you've done this probably longer than any of us combined, right?
Probably about 35, almost 40 years. So I really enjoy the conventions basically because you get a chance to lay it all out there all at one time. You ask the players to do the same thing, and as the game master, you get to lay it all out. You get to pour all of your energy into it, and for that 4-hour time period, you're an actor, you're an improv, you're a judge, you're anything and everything. And I just really enjoy being put on the spot and having the opportunity to really hang out and put everything out on the table.
That's so cool. Yeah, I agree with that 100% because that's the reason I like doing that too. But I'm going to shift it up a little bit. Hey, Gragnik, tell me, what's your favorite memory being a GM at a convention? You got one of those? Now that I put you on the spot.
I do have favorite memories from all the conventions and maybe even every game I've run. But I'm going to mention one where it started off extremely bad. I got dehydrated, and I had to tell the EO I couldn't run a game. It was coming up. And they went into emergency mode. I had 3 cups of water. I went to a cold shower. Another guy who didn't know the adventure studied it up. He took over my group, and they had such a blast because it was at the end of the night. They just kept playing. But during that recovery phase that I had, the EOs had taken such good care of me that when another group showed up a little bit late and said, we want to play this adventure, I was feeling good enough to step up. You got me a headset, so I didn't have to talk too loud. And it was a very good adventure. The guys were rough on me because they were a bunch of friends and they like to play hardcore. And I have to tell you, I gave them it all. I made it hard on them, and they had a blast. It was a really good memory.
Yeah, it's funny how you kind of say, you know, that sounds like it could have been a nightmare and it turned into your favorite memory. I mean, isn't that how conventions should go? I mean, and Charles, I'm going to throw the question at you here in a little bit, but isn't that the way conventions should go? I mean, just the memories can be so random, but lasting and enjoyable. And you go home and you smile, and then you go home on this high. So Charles, tell me, you know, what's a memory that you have that took you home and had a high about it even to this day?
For me, it was 2 years ago at Gen Con, my first Gen Con. I hadn't done a Gen Con before that. So I had a group, and I just said I was just going to go for it. And we had several of those, what they call aha moments in teaching, where you have a definite connection with the people that you're working with. And you when you're teaching, you have it with students. When you're doing game mastering, you have it with your team at the table. And when I was game mastering that Gen Con, we had a really good connection, and they played, I played, and we all walked away from the table just going, wow, that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had those experiences too. And I'm so glad that you got that, especially your first time there at Gen Con, because that just makes you want to go back. I mean, it's a great thing to be able to experience. And then Kari, do you got one you want to share with everybody?
Yeah, I think similar. It's those moments when everybody gets so into the characters. The one that stands out the most to me is I'm running the first Gen Con that we were all at as Gooey Cube. I'm running one of the adventures, and one of the dream sequences and some of the things that are going on back and forth between the characters, and all of a sudden, you know, there's this moment where one of them, you know, is so engaged in the character that they start passing notes to one of the others. And at the end of the game, I pick it up, and it's, you know, because they left it behind, it says, you know, do you trust these guys? And it was, you know, there's something going on, right? Just that where they really are like so in the moment.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. I love it when you talk about how the players they'll break down those walls around them, especially with all the chaos and the noise that's going on around them, and they really get locked into what they're doing and in the story. And I think that's one of the cool things about the Gooey Cube Adventures that really pulls people in, even in a convention setting. So thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that very much. But I want to ask you, Kari, to follow up. So do you have any tips for others that are on here that might be interested in GMing at a convention? What are some things that you have learned that would help them to know and be aware of?
I think one of the big things is be ready for anything. I mean, that's true GMing in general, but at a convention, just be ready for anything and be willing to go with the flow. Everybody's there trying, they know they're going to sit down at this table for 4 hours and they want to be going, and it's get ready for anything and try to read the table and see how people are enjoying different aspects. Or do you have somebody who's really into role playing, then kind of flow into that and try and pull the other people into doing a little bit of the role playing as well. Same with combat.
Yeah, I tell our GMs often that they'll probably hear me say this more often than they want, is I say, take the temperature of the table often, at least once an hour. Be observant of what's going on, and that will help you run a really good game there, because you just don't know, especially when you don't know the people. That's one thing you talked about, Kari, is you just don't know these people because they're fresh to you sitting at your table. But it's always a great time. I've never had a bad experience. It's really cool to enjoy. But I mean, Charles, what kind of tips do you have as well?
My recommendation would be do the best you can to know the material, because you are going to be fielding a lot of information, a lot of questions, a lot of things from out of left field that you weren't prepared for, that you didn't know was going to come at you. And so, at least for me, what I like to do is I read, and I read over and over and over the event, and I just know it as cold as I possibly can. That way, like in that situation that Kari was talking about, you can react, you can be flexible, and you can act, and the players will come to trust you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. There's going to be a lot of information coming at you. If you haven't run Gooey games before and at conventions, you double down.
I'm like, because I'm running my first, I know I'm running one of the easier things to run because it's a sandbox. So I'm like soaking in all this. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty nervous about running, because I was originally going to have, I thought I was going to have like everyone at the table I was going to know. And then
surprise.
I know, I don't know anyone who's going to be at the table. So I'm like, okay.
And I think you're going to come away with it with what they're talking about is
Uh-huh.
that it's going to be one of the best experiences you've ever had to play with some of these people. I mean, these are gamers that come to these conventions and they love this kind of stuff. And you're going to meet these people and you're going to be like, wow, that is one of the best games I have ever had. It's different, but it's fun and it's cool. And the memory will be there. It'll be
Okay.
there for sure. Hey, Greg, what do you think about that? What are some tips that you have for people?
Well, I agree with them on making sure you know your materials. You don't know what kind of table you're going to get. And so to add to that, I would say it is always a bit stressful coming into running the games for complete strangers. You always feel like you're not completely prepared. And you're going to make mistakes, or at least I'm going to make mistakes. I can't connect with others. But I do make mistakes running games. But it's like theater, if you're up on stage, don't show them that you're making mistakes unless it's going to be comical. Humor is always great. Keep the story going. They don't know if you skip part of the story. Most likely they haven't even put it before because there's all new material. And sure, you can homebrew to glue the pieces back together once they've been shattered. Don't freak out. You're a GM. You've made up stuff for a long time, probably, if you've been a GM for a while, and you can fix it and just keep the story going, and the players will have a blast. Especially, humor is great. So if you want to let them know you messed up, do it in a funny way.
Yeah. Rule of cool. I preach that all the time, especially at a convention, especially if you're in a group with young people.
I heard you say that on the call the other night. What is the rule of cool?
That is,
exactly?
let them just be creative. The creative mind is so strong. And if they say that they want to grab a bag of flour and they're going to throw, the rogue is going to grab a bag of flour, or I'm sorry, the rogue's going to grab a bag of flour, throw it in the air. The druid is going to shoot it with his arrow as he throws it in the air. And then the mage is going to cast Burning Hands simultaneously with that to ignite it, to create a minor fireball. There's no rules for that. But fine, there are skill checks and other things you can do to run with that. Think about what they want to do and not think, well, okay, there's no mechanical rule to make this work. But the rule of cool says, well, that doesn't mean that we can't throw down a couple of skill checks and push it out there and see what happens. And players love that kind of stuff, right? Right. So does that answer that, Mandy?
Yeah, no, that's good to know. I do think like incorporating, like not shutting down players is the way that they're going to have the best time.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I'm going to skip to this question, Casey, so we can piggyback off that.
Yeah.
What tips do you have for players at the table to have a good time? Like, what could you suggest to the people who are coming to the table that's going to give them the most wonderful outcome of this convention game?
Raise your hand if you're going to say it so we don't talk over each other. I don't know. For me, Charles.
What I would say is that you don't have to be an improv actor. You don't have to be extremely extroverted. However, if you give yourself the opportunity to play the character, it's something you're only doing for 4 hours. You might as well have a good time at it. So grab that character, wring the life out of it, and take it to the table.
Yeah. Great answer. Great answer. Anybody else? Yeah, Chris.
I'd just say, bring your dice, be ready to have a good time. Understand we are all there to have fun. And, people are different, some are more sociable, some are less talkative, and just let them be who they are and interact with them.
I love everything that's happening on your screen.
Have a good time. The GM is going to do better when you're into the game. The more the player is into the game, the better everybody at the table will be.
I totally feed on the energy of the table. And that's one other thing. I mean, I do so much online. But boy, when you're in person and if you as a player just say, you know what, I'm just gonna go with what I think, the first thing I think. And it's amazing how often that it allows you to be able to engage and enjoy what's going on. And then the GM will just feed off of that energy. And it's a bi-directional energy wave of excellence, which is a lot of fun. Kari, were you going to say something?
I'm just going to say the only other thing would be if you don't really know your character and what their capabilities are, let the GM know, because we're more than willing to help you figure out the character. But if we don't know, then we're going to sit there and stare at you a little bit and go, what are you trying to do?
Sure. And that's just it. Keep that open communication going. Yeah. 4 hours at a convention vaporizes quickly, but you do have 4 hours. And so talk about that. We can do a mini, 10-minute session 0 as we're getting going, and ask those questions and have fun with that. And boy, Greg's family is just having a great
I know. I want to know if they plan this ahead of time. Like, I've had people switch their own hats before. I've never had someone else switching people's hats.
He has a valid there. He has a valid there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Here.
There's a question I want to ask, Kari. I'm gonna ask this of you first, because I know you've had choices, and I think others have as well. Why would you choose to GM for Gooey Cube when there's so many options to volunteer for different organizations, especially at Gen Con?
Yeah.
There is 19,000 events, and 600 plus vendors. you know, and they're all looking for people to help out. Why would you go with us?
So number one, really the group, right? I mean, the group of GMs, the EOs, the, you know, Alphinius, Mandi, just everybody. It is, I've definitely GM'd for other groups, even at Gen Con, and there is just this feeling of community, and it is and authenticism with everybody, right? Where some of the other groups aren't quite that way, you know. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
to me the biggest thing.
That's great. Hey, Charles, you've been doing this so long. You know, tell us. You know, you found out about us and wanted to do us. You reached out and said, "Let's go." And why did you choose us?
Well, a lot of it had to do with when I first picked up my copy of the Red Star Rising, and I saw all of the information that was in there, and I realized that with that much information, I can do a heck of a lot at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so that was my first inspiration, was the information that you get, you know, from not only the Red Star Rising box sets, but the modules that we're running for the conventions. There's a lot of information there. They give you a lot to play with. And when you have a lot to play with, you can have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you really can. Hey, we're going to move on a little bit on some of these questions just for respect for time. How do you prepare yourself ahead of time, not knowing what kind of table you're going to get? Greg, you know, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I thought this is kind of a similar question earlier, but I just feel that you need to know that you have EOs, you have fellow GMs around you. In between games, you talk about some of the tables and, you know, the things you might have experienced at previous tables. And, you know, experience is a lot of our education, the things that make us better people. And dealing with a lot of different tables and things like that kind of, you know, makes you more confident in dealing with strangers. But, you know, it does take a while. Watch them pick their characters, see which ones are maybe a little quicker about picking their characters and others a little bit more, they're real specific about what they want, how they're playing. They really look at the character sheets. You can kind of get a little bit about the table before the game starts. And then, you know, you're telling them more about the game. And, but preparing for it, that's the hard part right there. I don't really know how you can prepare for it. You just kind of have to be very flexible and observant. You know, GM doesn't have to talk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Let them talk and kind of understand where they're headed with things. Because I think one of the most frustrating things as a player is feeling like you're not being heard, or you're not part of the game, and you're wondering, why am I sitting at this table? You know, I'm here to have fun and be part of this group. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you have to, as a GM, you have to listen to them, let them do their part, so that you know which direction to go.
Mm-hmm.
How hardcore they want to be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the players are going to dictate to you. They are going to dictate to you the direction.
That was a
and
great
way.
piece of advice.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's wonderful. Final question here. Charles, how do you adapt to your table when some people may be interested in combat and more others may be more interested in role play?
I think you kind of touched on it a little bit before. That's called taking the temperature of the table.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, I kind of charge in and I kind of get the feel of where everybody's coming from, or try to. But after a while, you've got to you got to scan the table constantly. You got to
Mm-hmm.
constantly be taking the temperature of the table. And when you look around the table and you realize, you know, this person hasn't had any interaction for X amount of time, you need
Yes.
to do something to bring that person out.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you're going to give the opportunity for the people who like to talk, but you also have to make sure you make the point of grabbing people who aren't necessarily out there the opportunity to role play their character, for them to and interact with the game.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's something that I think I just do.
Mhm.
Especially at a convention, people have, bought a ticket to play this game. They've come to play this game. And if they're not getting a chance, it's important as you, as sometime they call us judges, or GMs or whoever, to ensure that everybody is getting their money's worth, as it were, finding a way to enjoy it, because the golden rule is for everybody to have fun, and to have an opportunity to find the niche that gets everybody the chance to be involved is excellent. All right, Kari, bring us home on that question, and then we'll move on.
I mean, it's similar to what Charles said. Once you've see how everybody is, I think the other part of it is absolutely making sure that you're in part of that reading the table, you're making sure that there is the right type of opportunity for each of those players, right? You may sit down at a table where nobody's really into the RP, and in that place, it's kind of, you sit there and go, okay, here's how we're going to do it. You ask me the question, I'm going to give you what they know, and then you'll have other tables that you might not have anybody who's really that interested in the combat, and they're more interested in doing it socially. And it's just making sure that after reading the table, you're giving everybody that opportunity to play the game the way they want to play. And doing that, you're kind of championing the players, right? As a GM, I'm not against the players. I'm providing a situation, and but in the end, I'm hoping that the players pull it out at the end.
And Gooey Cube gives you the materials to be able to slip and slide very easily. It's not just this, 12-page document. Well, here you go, figure it out, sort of thing. So boy, if you want to slip into something because the tables go in that direction, it's pretty easy to do, and then use that illusion of choice. So Mandi, for tips for you as you jump into this, you guys create a great product, use the tools that you got, and you got all the resources you need to make it work. Guys, you're wonderful. It's so great to see you, and thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for sharing your time and volunteering for us with Gen Con. I know it's fun for you as well, but we couldn't do it without all of you. And we appreciate you so much, and we respect you for everything you do. We're excited. We are so excited for you.
Thank you all so much. We will see you in 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Later. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
So we are going to enter in the last section of our show, which is talking with our EOs. First, we actually had a question from Geeky. He was asking if we could add more games for like Gooey Cube people who want to come play, because I know we're like basically sold out. I'm not sure if that's a thing that we could actually do.
Okay. With the benefit of being able to have moved our premium track events into the private suites, that opens up a table in our game room. I don't have official information on that just yet, but the opportunity for us to offer games at the convention for some of our folks in our room is highly likely, but it's going to have to be organized. So we're going to slip into, this is a good transition. We're going to slip into the EO section. People are like, what the heck is an EO? There they are. These are event organizers. We know game masters, GMs, DMs, dungeon masters, whatever, interchangeably, but apparently that's copyrighted. But EOs are event organizers. Those are the people behind the scenes making all of this work, especially ahead of time. And so we have my best friends in the world, Mark. Mark and I have known each other since we were wee little, and if you see the gray in my beard, you know that's been many years. And then Matt has been a dear friend over these last few years, and becoming more and more so. And so these are great people, and they're great compatriots, and we're going to let them shine, because you see me, you don't often see them, and you guys just don't know what they do. And how much they do and how much they contribute to it. So I answered the question of what is an EO? Well, it's an event organizer. The faces that you see in front of you are EOs. Mandi is an EO. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
on
much
some level, yes.
But
I'm more of an EO's assistant of trying to get you all what you need to be able to do what you do. Because like one thing, if you were listening in the background, Gragnik shared a really touching story about how the EOs got him through being completely dehydrated and took care of him. And that's like a team aspect of this that I think is incredibly important to address, is that you're not on your own as a GM. You have a team supporting you.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what that looks like for you guys.
Yeah, and that team is you. So I'm gonna break it out from the standard questions we have. Or no, it's there. But favorite memory, Mark. I want to know what your favorite memory is of being an event organizer for Gooey Cube.
Well, I actually have two. And thanks for the kind words, Casey. And yes, Mandy, you are an EO. I remember the first time we did this. We had to get the material from Gooey Cube, and sure enough, it would show up on Wednesday. So we gathered a few people, thinking, it'll be an hour, 2 hours, maybe, to get those modules put together, and we'll be ready to go for Thursday. And box after box after box of box and boxes of material came in.
We didn't know what we were doing. Just to be clear.
I'm gonna interrupt.
We're a marketing agency. We are.
You go to Costco and you get one of those flatbed trolleys to buy all of your stuff, right? You know how big those things are? Okay, imagine 2 of those piled high to where you can't even hardly pull it. It's so heavy, of boxes of stuff. And it's like, oh, here's all your modules. Oh, guess what? They haven't been packaged yet. Put them together.
Yeah. And so, we're sitting there going, okay, we'll get it done. And you know what? All the GMs, all the volunteers, they showed up. They sat on a table. We put the sucker together. Sure, it didn't get done in an hour. But I sat back and was amazed by all these people sitting there being happy, joyful, putting these things together. And it was amazing. Yeah. And the second year, you'd think we would learn. We learned that we need to bring more than one scissors. So we ended up doing the exact same thing. It was better, but once again, only one scissor. But I also was amazed when I stood back and everybody was happy. They were like, pass me the scissors. All right, boom. And nobody was fighting. Nobody was grumpy. Everybody was just so happy, and it was so chill. That's my favorite memory.
Yeah.
Aww.
Thank you. I can.
Thanks, Mandy, for making that happen.
Listen, the first 2-3 years of you guys doing this, I was not super, because I was in the video. I was more trying to do all the video stuff. Now I do kind of some of both, but more organization than videos at this point. So when I came into seeing what you guys had done, my mind was blown. I could not believe that you guys had done as much as you did. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, you guys are like astonishing at like organization, at getting the modules together. And now you have a bit more support from Gooey Cube, since we're catching up with you. We're trying to catch up with you. But what you guys have done those first few years was like, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Well, we EOs support the GMs and the GMs support us. So it's a great combination.
It's very synergistic. And the same with Gooey Cube. I mean, we support Gooey Cube and you support us. We get the opportunity to enjoy the things that we like to do at conventions, which is this. But we have the backing of an organization which can make our dreams happen. And you're saying you're catching up with us because we keep growing exponentially in our offerings and what we do. And we keep asking for stuff. And the cool thing is that there's no... The word no is not in the vocabulary. It's let's make this happen.
Yes.
And because we all see the enjoyment from it, and we like that. It gives us just great memories and stuff. And we'll jump back on that. Matt, give me a great experience or a great memory.
I'm gonna just say, kind of add on to what Mark did. Just getting to meet people that that first couple days at Gen Con during the plague, when we got to meet. We got to meet everybody that we'd spent so long working with or playing with or doing stuff over the years. Getting to meet Mandy and Alphinius, and even more than that, Casey, you and I had been talking quite a bit before then. But getting to meet Mark, Mark, I didn't know that well, and over the years, he has been incredible to me and my wife. He always checks on us, and he's really become, I'm getting a little emotional. He's really become one of the very best humans I've met. And a lot of folks from Gooey Cube are, and that's been a great privilege and honor of my life, is getting to meet all of you guys and all the GMs and that kind of thing. That's been a special privilege that we get from doing what we do.
Thank you, Matt. Hey, we're going to move on here, and I appreciate your sentiments and stuff, but I want to cover a couple of things. One, give me a quick synopsis of what is the process of preparing for Gen Con. You probably thought I was going to answer that. No, you're going to answer that.
I think we started prepping for Gen Con 2024 about 6 weeks ago.
No. We started prepping
6 weeks ago.
We hopped on the airplane
for 2024.
Oh, for 2024, 6 weeks ago. Yes.
Because it's just constant. I mean, there really is no end to the prep for Gen Con. I mean, we're constantly bouncing ideas off of each other, and trying to figure out what we can implement. And we put things on can maybe implement this year, can maybe implement next year, maybe 3 years down the road, we try to implement this. So we have these big roadmaps of stuff that we want to do to make the experiences better for you guys, and better for ourselves too. But it's just a process of communication. First of all, we take 2 weeks where we don't talk to each other at all after Gen Con to just let our brains relax a little. And then we get into what worked well this year, what didn't, what possible adventures we could have next year. How do we prep for those? Yep. Then we move into getting everything, all that data. As it gets closer to time, we get into getting that data entered into Gen Con's website for their approval, as well as this year we started a new process where we interview GMs to try to see, because we really want the very best GMs, and we want to make sure you guys are comfortable, you know what's going on. There's no surprises on your end or our end. And then we do the cross our fingers and hope that we get a room dance and we're not out in the general games room, because that happens to a lot of folks. But luckily, thanks in a big part to our GMs from that year we had the plague, you guys really stepped up, put a lot of games in, did a great job, and Gen Con took notice. And they have been very, very accommodating with us and giving us a lot of leeway for being a relatively small company, but oh my gosh. And then Mark, you handle the complete other side of that, which is all of the document prep.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not forget about the very unsexy paperwork that loads and loads and loads of freaking paperwork that gets done.
Yeah, spreadsheets with spreadsheets mixed in with spreadsheets, and then I hand it to Mandy.
You can blame this guy right here for that, because I have this vision of what I want our games, what I think players would like from our games, right? I mean, Gooey Cube, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, right? And so we got to get that in Latin and get a crest for that. I really think we're done. Anyhow, a lot of organizations, they give you a pamphlet module, or it's even just electronic. That's it. That's all you get as a GM and everything like that. No, we want the players to have everything and the GMs to have everything they need to make sure that 4 hours is the best game experience they've had. That is our goal. And we do everything we can to achieve that. And so the material logistics that Mark and Mandy have to go through, I can't keep it in my brain. That's why I have him do it, but he's so good at it, and it's great. And we decided this year that we're going to add 12 more pre-gens, and so, who's crazy idea with that, but we're doing it, and it's coming together.
We're still trying to, we're finishing up the original 12 still to get those.
So those character sheets have become one of Mark's great stones in life.
But I will say this: I get questions from players that say, "Hey, can we bring our own character?" Because people love to create their own characters and they love to play their own characters and stuff like that. And I just tell them very kindly that we find this is the best way to do it, and this is why we do it, and everything like that. I've never, ever, ever, ever of the probably over thousands, if not thousands of players that have played with convention games for us now, got an complaint that said, I didn't enjoy the pre-generated characters. Done.
Okay.
We're great. We're going to continue doing it. It's wonderful. We absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
But with that said, we are making the font bigger on the sheet, so
Yeah.
it's happening.
We take feedback into account. We
Yeah.
really do.
Those
guys
four
do a
So
good
level
job.
1, 2, and 3 are on revision like 84 now, I
Yep.
think. So we're
And that's
almost
most
done.
of that is not most, pretty much all of that is Mark. Mark handles all of our logistic stuff. Casey and I kind of do a lot of the like dream stuff of like, oh, let's see if we can implement this, and then we're like, Mark, make it happen.
I plan the invasion. They do the groundwork. They're the grunts, So Mark's the enlisted sergeant or whatever, and I'm the.
Well,
yeah.
Mark's just a lot more practical too. I mean, he's constantly like, even when we're at Gen Con, he's constantly messing with the module packs to make sure they're good. He's constantly checking the character sheets. He takes care of a lot of the practical stuff that I know I don't think of as much. Casey kind of does, but Mark really pulls most of the weight when we're actually at the convention for sure.
Well, I just want to make sure like everyone knows, like, because we're like talking about Mark a lot, because Mark deserves to be talked about,
Yeah.
But like, I mean, we
Thanks.
also have Wit and Callie, and I know Kari's going to be stepping in to do some EOing. We have like a great support group that works together marvelously as their own little organization over here, and like the work that you do to help make the GMs feel comfortable, to give them whatever they need to run their games. I mean, I think that's why so many of our GMs return year after year after year, is because of what you do to make them feel supported and to make them feel like we got your back and you're not alone in this. So I want to say
Yeah, and
thank
they
you to all
do
of
they
our
do a
heroes.
great job with it, and they do it with a smile.
Yeah,
For sure.
And genuine care. And as I've told the GMs, if you need a glass of water, if you need your water bottle filled, they're there for you. If you need a snack, they're there for you. If you need them to come over and handle a difficult situation, they're there for you. We have a lot of great help. We're training up new ones this year. Julie's coming in, and Kari's coming in to help, and
Eric,
and Sarah and Eric and sorry, Chelsea and did I miss anybody? I hope I didn't.
I don't think so.
But we're making great headway with that, and these are all great people that just it synergizes so well, and we sure appreciate all of you for what you do, and that's the behind the scenes. So yeah.
Well, we're at 11:02, so we've got a little. But do you want to do one more question, Casey, or do you want to wrap it up?
I think we'll wrap that up for now.
Okay.
And we can let people have the rest of their day, but we appreciate you guys very much.
So much. So we'll see you. I know I'll talk to you guys like Monday. So have a good weekend.
Okay.
You too.
So I'm going to wrap up the show by ending it with a highlights reel from last year's game show. And so if you want to stick around, that's like just a 4-minute clip of some of my favorite things from last year. But anything you want to end with, Casey?
The tagline. But I
I mean, yes,
coming back,
we will do the tagline before I launch the thing.
Yeah.
But I meant anything Gen Con related that you'd like to.
I can't wait to see everybody. I will take time because it's kind of a ritual. I stand at the door, I take some pictures, and then I take in the 100 people in the room, enjoying what the GM is saying, watching that natural 20 come up on their die, cheering because they landed on black as they wagered for at the Dungeon of Duanix. Getting scared by Miga because she comes out at the carnival, seeing somebody who's never played before at a convention have that awe moment of, wow, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And seeing, like I said, darn near 100 people and all of that happening at the same time, and the energy and the emotion that flows out of the room. And what it does is it draws people from outside into the room, and they get immersed in the goo. And that's my joy of all of this, and that's why we do what we do. And I'm thankful for you all in the community who've contributed to that and will continue to contribute to that joy. So I appreciate you all. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see you.
And I think we should just end it because that was beautiful. So may all your adventures
be sticky. Bye all.
Here we go. Kiss me as we are. You ready? You want to spin it?
I get to spin it.
You can. I spin it usually, but you can. All right, I'm going to spin it. Here we go.
Let's go red.
Red.
Wow.
It's rigged. That was rigged. Dwarven's Forge is the sponsor. That was rigged. Totally rigged.
That wheel is fixed.
I do want to say that I know they are our sponsor for this.
And apparently next year now, too.
Anyway, that's 5 dungeon points. That's a big start.
Oh, yeah! I got a 1. That's good, right, guys?
Did you really, honest to God, get a 1?
I got a 1.
Do you know what I honest to God got? A 1.
A 1.
Wow! This is really starting wild.
Does that mean double or nothing? Does that double?
Double or nothing?
Double or nothing?
He only has 1 dungeon point.
Put it negative.
He tried.
All right, double or nothing. I'm the game master.
12.
4. You win. 2 dungeon points. Oh, you gotta make a little noise for that. Well done. Should we do a drawing? It's D. D it is.
Let's do D.
That is the gopher hole.
That's the gopher
Okay,
hole.
we're going to the gopher hole.
Yes, we're going to the gopher hole. Unfortunately, in the gopher hole is the massive, disgusting, slimy salamander monster. Well done. Yeah. You have encountered the monster, so. The slip and slide oil.
Slip and slide oil.
Do you use the slip and slide oil?
Yeah.
Okay, nobody wants to talk to you for the rest of the game, but you are able to evade the attack of the monster. All right?
Something suspicious here, and I'm still, the rage still is sort of
Still feeling that tingle, yes.
I want to stand in the middle of the village and say, show yourselves! Come out and fight!
Who loves
And whirl my noggin out.
Here we go.
Green. Is that good or bad?
It's good.
Yeah!
Stop moving! That was amazing!
What a roll!
That was amazing!
Well, in all my years of playing, I've discovered that the skeletons, you don't want to attack them with edged or pointy weapons, But I have a scimitar, right? And scimitars are long, slender, flat swords. So I'm going to turn it sideways so it's got a nice, big, wide area. And I'm going to go howling in there and slap it howling. Right.
Roll to hit armor class 18.
No problem. Oh, well, okay.
Or 2, 6, 10, 20 damage.
That is the killing blow.
Yeah!
Congratulations. All right.
MVP for me is I gave him the oil. MVP for me.
So the problem I have with this is that I'm not sure that one would have been around without the slip and slide oil. I mean, is Stefan? Is that the truth? I mean, if this one had been struck down and killed,
here's 20 gold.
Oh, wait a minute.
Bribery.
There's
Bribery
slippery
going on.
oil here. I
So
don't know.
the slip and slide oil goes over there, yes,
yeah.
and this person is now alive instead of dead because it's quite possible they would have been dead.
He would have been dead if I wouldn't have killed the skeleton.
I 100% agree with Alphinius in this one.
Yeah.
We have generous players at the table, and we need to reward generosity.
Do you agree, Stefano? We reward the generosity.
20 gold tells me I agree. So,
yeah.
He is susceptible to bribery. All right, Brandel, you are the MVP. Yeah. All right, my friends, that is it for this edition of Doubled Points.
Double.
Yeah.
Well played.